We are Zola Bantu. We live in love, we live in purity, we live in justice. We are priests, we are scientists, we are judges. The three pillars of spirituality. We bring together the best of us, we build together, we don't destroy.
Support us by liking the video, vibrate in love by sharing the video to one person that you love, become our member here on YouTube by clicking join, follow us on Instagram, we have basically many courses over there, follow us also on Facebook, we have many posts over there, become our Patreon to show us love by supporting us. We have amazing courses available on our Patreon account. Visit our website to know more about Zola Bantu. Click on our playlist here on YouTube to be able to watch our courses for free and see our classes. Join the Zola Bantu class every Sunday, available here on YouTube, to decolonize your mind. Donate to us via PayPal. If you cannot donate funds, donate to us your time by blessing us with your skills and expertise on our projects. Bless us with at least 1 hour a week of your time. Our key projects are education, food, media, army, and the restoration of the African woman. We love you so much, Zola Bantu. Kisses. Mwah.
Hello, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Wherever you are, I welcome you all. My name is Dad. I am the Queen from the Caribbean, and I welcome all of you. So we are Zola Bantu. What is that? We are people of love. We live in love. We live in purity, and we live in justice. Not only that, we are priests, we are science, and we are spiritual. We are judges, and we are the three pillars of spirituality. Welcome, all of you. We are pleased today to have you. It's going to be a beautiful program that we all going to enjoy, and just sit back and take notes, and you're going to be blessed today. Thank you again. The couple that's going to talk today is going to bless you. Lovely, lovely, lovely couple. Thank you again. And don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe. Then you'll find out if you are a priest, if you're a science, if you're a judge. Thank you very much. Hold on.
Wow, thank you so much, Queen Wilda, for that beautiful introduction. I can see we have our elders have joined us today. It's such an honor to have you joining us today. And I'm just gonna turn on my video now, so you can see me right here back home in the beautiful continent. But because of the network, I'm going to switch off my video. But I'm so happy to have each and every one of you joining us today, and I'm so honored to have the Queen and the King joining us today in this session to speak on marriage. You know, we were supposed to have this meeting last month, but the Queen was not well. So we have been praying for the Queen, to get better, and we're happy to have her here joining us today. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. So as you can see, it was all about to basically, this is basically some of the activity which is going on in our organization, some of our projects. Basically, it's basically on education, food, media, and the army. These are basically our key foundational projects, topics: education, food, media, and also the restoration of the African woman. And we're not able to live our session today on YouTube because we got a strike from YouTube. So we're trying to appeal for it, but we're going to show it live hopefully next week. You know what happens when you're using these platforms of the Mzungus. It's a bit difficult. I can see Queen Brenda is nodding. Yeah, so some of our projects you can see on the screen. Basically, we have a farming project in South Africa. And we also have the Zola Bantu app, which is being designed by our science team. And also you can see on the bottom right below, we have a movie project entitled Elizabeth that we were hoping to produce. We have other activities you can be able to see it on our website. When you visit our beautiful website, have some time to check out our website to see some of the what we're working on at the moment. The Zola Bantu Trust Fund is also running. We now currently stand at 10 members out of 100. We're hoping to get to 100 members that can be able to commit to $55 a month, and you can see this fund is used to finance African projects. So our target is to get to $10,000, and then we can be able to finance African projects. So become our member and participate. You can even start at 20, 30, or 40. It's going to be such an honor for us to have you as our member. But again, let's move on for today's session, which is basically to speak of our elders who have joined us today. And for that, I hand it over to you, Queen Wilded.
All right, beautiful queens and kings. Marriage is so important. Of course, guest gonna join us very shortly. Beautiful couple, Manzambi, Zola, Queen Brenda, and her husband. They are so beautiful, beautiful couple. I just love looking at them. The king is always dressing beautiful in his garment, so I love that. So our marriage is very important nowadays. Unfortunately, there's a lot of craziness going in our marriage. Family are being broken, and children are being separated, and just the fact that we don't have a foundation of marriage, and then it could be beautiful. It's challenging, but it could be beautiful. So today, our queen and king gonna give us a lesson, add to what we already know, because we can always learn something new. So please welcome them, and then pay attention, because again, our children are being taken away. We just have a broken homes. Marriage supposed to be beautiful union. So please, if you have questions at the end of the session, we will give you the opportunity to ask questions, and then feel free, don't be shy. We are going to some challenges. Do not be shy to ask questions, okay? Thank you so much. And then I turn the mic to the beautiful queen and king. Thank you, Manzambi, Zola. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
CME family, can you hear us okay?
Excellent.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Awesome. CME, Mbolo, and Bote, Habari. We are honored to be here. We truly apologize. I know we were supposed to have been here a couple of weeks ago, but we're here. And we thank Tata Nzambi, for being here. We are truly honored to be here with you all. We love Zola Bantu, Brother Arvi. We truly appreciate you and the work that you do. It is such a blessing, an increase to Bena Nzambi. So Matondo for all you do. And may Tata Nzambi, Mama, and don't be in our elevated and kulus of the light continue to increase you and strengthen you and take you higher and higher in him. Hallelujah. Base. All right.
Wants to share screens, have the ability to share screens.
Yes,
we
please,
have a
please go ahead.
presentation to go along with
Yes,
what
please
we're
go
going to
ahead.
present. I'm sorry.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, you got it. Let me see. Let me see what a ball is. That?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, you got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my screen here?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Wonderful. How's everybody doing?
We're good. And you?
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
We're doing wonderful our way. So here, bear with me here. Let me get this here.
The
slideshow.
Yep.
And a minute. That's why I'm trying to move this. I'm trying to move some things around on my end so I can get to my presentation here. So there we go. All righty. All right. So as Brother Arby stated, we're going to be talking about respect in and of marriage. And as our sister stated, there's been so much that have caused the dissolution and the destruction of our marriage, particularly in the Black community. So we're going to just talk a little bit on there, and then gonna probably go a little different what most people may think it should be, but bear with us on where we're going with this. We do, there is there is a point in what we are stating in here and what we're going to present, so just bear with us on that. So
it doesn't matter.
Okay. All righty. So respect, let me make sure this is, yes. Respect, marriage, and community. Getting back to our culture, for one thing, we know that we as a people, we have lost our culture. We've lost our way, and we have become somebody that we were not initially. And so the key to bringing back the status of our marriage to what it was once before, we need to go back to the basis of our culture and to restore that. And so this is from a book that I have of a sister on the continent that wrote it. And she said, historically, Africans have built communities on the basis of marriage. So our community was based on the institution of marriage and the marriage alliances, the kinship bond, collective sacred rituals, and nationalistic control policies. Marriage is a divine institution, she stated. In various African traditions, God instituted marriage by his very acts of creation. He made a couple of male and female. And we know today that the enemy is trying to change that up. So this is a direct insult to the creator, because marriage is that between a man and a woman, male and female.
Yes.
But we know the enemy is trying to corrupt this institution and destroy that. American marriage is an alliance between African marriage is an alliance between two lineage communities and creates a kinship bond between the two allied families. So in the West, they have taught us that marriage is between you and that person that you're married to, the man or the woman, and not the family. But in our customs over on the continent, it's the direct opposite. It is the coming together of families. Therefore, you're creating communities. And so because we have been conditioned to think that when I get married, I'm not marrying your family. We know that in the West, we hear that a lot because this is their custom, not our custom. And it has caused some complications in the institution of marriage and family within us and the communities here in the diaspora, particularly, I know. So we have to go back to that. We have to understand and to remember that it is the coming together of those two families. You are joining together. You're unifying. Manzambi is about unity, not disunity. So that concept that we were taught in the West, saying that I'm not marrying your family, that was disunity. So that is not a Manzambi. And so we have to return back to his ways and understand that, yes, we are connecting families.
And, one thing that also we have to remember, being here in the West, we have taken on customs of a people who have no culture. And in our family, back home, we have customs and culture. So by telling us that, we are marrying that one individual, as Brenda has said, that is incorrect when it comes to our customs and our culture. It is two families coming together. Okay, thank you.
Yes, so we need to start there first to understand and to go back. Yes, it's two families joining together. So family, you are not just marrying the male or the female. The two families are coming together to to create a community.
Yes.
Marriage is a morally regulated institution, and the name of the book is Muntu wa Nzambi.
So what does the Bible say about marriage? Therefore, a man shall leave his wife and mother, his father. It don't say wife. I'm sorry. I tell you, something just quickly went through my head. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And this is found in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, verse 24. And one flesh means to unite or bond. Now, as you see here, let us also remember that the Bible is it has been manipulated heavily. Okay, so those who call themselves translating or transcribing our scriptures, they put in what they wanted to put in and took out what they wanted to take out. So when it says here that a man shall leave his father and mother, this is his family, leaving his family to be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. That this man that's leaving his family will be starting his own family. But you see that they're separating the families. They have the man, one, and the woman, one, coming together. And as we said earlier, you're not marrying the family according to the West. You're not marrying her family. You're not marrying his family. You're marrying that one individual. So that's pretty much what this is saying here. But if you look at it in our culture, therefore, a man shall take his family. He is leaving out from under his father and mother, out from under their house to start his own family. But the two families shall be joined to become one family, one community. And this is where the unite and the bonding begins.
So we want to take a look at respect to see what respect is. And it is to esteem a positive feeling or action shown towards someone or something considered important or held in high esteem or regard. It conveys a sense of admiration for good or valuable quality. So you're esteeming something or someone and viewing them as important. And it is the process of honoring someone as well by exhibiting care, concern, and consideration for their needs or feelings, not just your own, but for theirs as well.
Mm-hmm.
To demonstrate high regard for a special attention to something or someone. Feeling of esteem excited by actions or attributes of someone or something. Courteous or considerate treatment due to personal worth or power. So it's based on also how you treat a person, how you value their worth as an individual. And so that needs to be taken in consideration too when it comes to respect. All these traits, these characteristics, these qualities of respect, to value, to esteem, to honor, to show consideration, to be caring, and to show worth, having a high regard for and treating with importance is components of respect. Mm-hmm. And we need to be mindful of that and make sure that we are incorporating this within our marriage with one another.
Yes, all of these are very important, and it builds a healthy marriage. You have to have respect in the marriage. You have to have respect for your wife, for your husband. You have to. You know, there's one thing that I share with individuals when I talk to them, you know, about marriage, and I tell them, you have two different worlds that are coming together as one. So when these two different worlds come together, there's going to be a collision, if I can put it that way. The collision can be good, it could be bad. But the two of you love each other, and the man have asked her, allow me to take care of you for the rest of your life. In other words, as your father took care of you and provided for you, allow me to do that as well for the rest of your life, for the rest of my life. And all these qualities here, I will uphold towards you. And so when these two worlds come together, there's going to be some things that you see that you don't care about in her. She's going to see that she don't care about in you. So it's how do you work through those things? Communication is very important.
Very,
very important. And it's how you communicate to her. And I'll go a little deeper in
or
that.
Him.
Yes, I'll go a little deeper in that. Let's move on.
So, to that too, that in marriage, You know, we've been in this, going on 23 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have learned, and I'll share with, I don't know if there's some young ones on here, but there's others that will be listening to this on social media, is that selfishness has to go out the door.
It has to. It has to.
Like what you want my way. It has to be a highway of compromise. And when you look at these qualities of respect, you will see that, because it is showing worth and consideration, for your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
They may want to go out to eat, and you say, I don't want to go out to eat. And sometimes you may have to sacrifice and say, well, since he or she wants to go out to eat or whatever, I'm just using this as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You go, you oblige. You may be just tired, but because of the love that you have, and you know that individual wants to go out for whatever reason, you oblige. And as I say, this is just an example. So selfishness has to go out the door.
Yes. Respect. Our personal definitions of respect are influenced by our personality, emotions, preferences, and cultural context. It is a product of our ability to relate to others in ways that consider their priorities important. Now, again, you see that word highlighted, cultural. And we're talking about our culture. Okay. So in our culture, I see Brenda, and I hold her to the highest. I esteem her highly. And we have heard Nti Ngon speak upon this about the female being God, because she's a creator. She brings life into this world. In her, when the baby is in her, the baby is in water. And we know that the Kulunga is where the spirits are, in the water. So through her, this baby comes forth. All the men do is just put the seed there. We help with creation, but she's the creator. So I hold her to a high standard, and I make sure that I do my best to keep her happy, to keep her satisfied. It's not that I'm neglecting me. This woman right here, she's the priest in the house, or priestess in the house. And she's the one to make sure that the word of Tata Nzambi is brought forth and taught to our children. So, I hold her, and I keep saying that, at a high standard. But in this culture here in the West, they lean more towards the man being the head of the house. Now, remember, the Bible being translated, by the other people, put it that way. They take that verse in the Bible that says that the man is the head of the house, or the head of the wife, and say he controls her, he rules her. And that is not the case. The one thing that I have said is this. I think it was Paul who stated, "Follow me as I follow Christ." In that statement, I say that the household follows me as I follow Tata Nzambi. I am the head of the home. And as long as I am following Tata Nzambi, my wife is going to get on board with that. And she's going to follow me, because I am the leader. I am guiding and directing. And the children are going to follow up under her, because they see her following me. And we're all following Tata Nzambi. You want to say something?
I was just going to add to what you said about the female. We know that the Bible says that he created both male and female in his image. And we know that the West, as you have been stating, both of us have been stating how they have changed up not only our culture, but also our scrolls, because we know that if he created both male and female, then there's a male and female part of him, which is the masculine and feminine energy, which is represented by the Ankh, which they removed the feminine off of it, and they have the cross, which is male, male, male. And even in our cross, our ancient cross, you will see on the right is the male, and if I'm getting it right, and then the left is the female. So the female and male, the masculine and feminine energy is still represented in the Congo cross as well, just like in the Ankh. So the female, as he stated, she is the portal for our ancestors to return back from the spirit realm into the physical realm. And so she should not be treated any kind of way, because she's the temple. Just think about this. She's bringing potentially your great grandmother back, and you're disdaining her, you're treating her ill. So once we begin to, that's why I say it's important that we go back to our culture so that we can understand and look at this in perspective. When we begin to look at it from the eyes and the lens of the ways that our ancestors live, then our perspective will change, our behavior will change, how we treat one another will change also. That is why it's so key that we decolonize our mind from the ways of how we've been conditioned all these years to walk, because it's contrary to the ways of our forefathers. And that is why in the Old Testament it states to return back to the ancient path. They're talking about the path of our forefathers.
Yes.
Let me move this here. So we're going to go to some scriptures here. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. The key here is let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So remember, us and our, that's the focus there. So the Most High created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, as I stated previously, male and female in his image. So there's a male and a female image of him, which is the masculine and feminine energy represented, as I stated, via the Ankh.
Go ahead.
So who is the us in the R? I told you that I want us to focus on the us in the R, and bear with me. We're going to go somewhere with this. So it is the divine council of heaven, who is the assembly of divine spiritual beings over which Manzambi, the one true God, presides. They participate in making decisions within Manzambi, execute these decisions in creation, and rule over creation on Manzambi's behalf. And they are comprised of the Malekis, the 24 elders, and Ban Manzambi, the sons of Manzambi. So when they said, let us make man in our image, in Christianity, I was taught, and if you were taught otherwise, I want you to chime in and tell me if you were taught otherwise, but I'm quite sure this was consistent across the board with those of you that were in Christianity, heard this, you were taught this, that the us was talking about Christ. He was there then, and it was talking about Christ. That's what they said, but that is not so. So have anybody been taught anything differently than that?
No, not at all. The same thing, my sister. Same thing.
Same.
So they fed us the same Kool-Aid to drink out of. Oh, wow. All righty here. So Job 38:7, we're still talking about image and likeness, us. Let us make man and female in our image, us and our. While the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. You notice the F and the N is there after angels. This is directly from the Blue Letter Bible. That means there's a footnote there. So something's there that's not really there in the original scroll. So we want to look at it and see. And I have it here for you. And I can go to it and show it to you as well. But while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. It's angels, Maleki. It is talking about, really, it's translated sons of God, or Manzambi. While the morning stars sang together and all Manzambi shouted for joy. So let's go there real quick here. Here it is. You see right here, while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. You see the FN. Can you all see that FN? I know it's kind of small. So that means footnote. So when you go into Job 38:7, you'll see it does not even have angels. You see it has the sons of God. Here it says being is Bana. When you go here, you know, they've changed up so much. You see they have Bane, they say, but it's not Bane. So when you go to the all the way to the root, the etymology of it, then it'll have the correct word, which is Bana, Manzambi, as I told you all. Did y'all see this? The blue letter Bible?
Yes.
Okay, great,
Yes,
great.
yes.
Okay, let me go back. Where is it at?
Oh no! If you're trying to show us the Bible itself is not shown on the screen, just the,
y'all. That's what I was talking about. I wanted you all
to switch your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back here because I want you all to see what I'm talking about. Then, so I have to stop sharing and share that particular part of it. Then, so I'm gonna go back. Okay, here we go. So Job 38:7. Now you guys see the blue letter Bible. This is while the morning. Okay, great. Yes. While the morning stars sang together and all the angels, footnote, it's an FN there. It's very small, meaning footnote, shouted for joy. So when you go to Job 38:7, you will see it does not even say the angels. It says the sons, as I stated, of God here. See? That's letting you know that they changed that up.
So you all can still see that, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sons of God. So we know that sons is Bana. And as I would say that they have been here, like I said, they changed up things. So when you go to the etymology of that word, you will see it's Bana. Bana and Zambi. The sons of God is what it said, which is Bana and Zambi. So that's what it was talking about there. So let me go back to the PowerPoint. I just want to show you all that how they change up things, and that's why it's important. The Bible says to study to show thyself approved, work we need not be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. So we have to study. You have to go to extra biblical books and things. I know there's some people, particularly people in our family members that are still in Christianity, they feel like that you don't need to go outside of the Bible when the Bible is not the word of God. It contains some of the word of God, and some of that word has been perverted, seriously perverted. So it is important that we study, we meditate, and we talk to the Most High so that we can get revelation, understanding, and truth out of these lies that we have, because the Spirit will reveal to you what is truth and what is not truth when you are connected to Him. So you have to connect. And how do we connect? Through meditation and through what they call prayer, but I don't like to say prayer anymore because of what it stands for. But meditating with them. I'm sorry.
I say I hear that. I understand you, my sister. Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's just been devastating. Things I have find out that's been lie. I was lied to, and things I'm finding out. It's just beyond understanding. Yes, like you said, it's not prayer anymore.
No, because prayer means, when you look at the etymology of it, it means to beg. We are children. Children don't beg. Our children don't beg us. So when we go to our Father, we don't beg. And that's what I'm trying to teach even our family members that are still in Christianity. Hallelujah. Also, that we declare, we decree. I'm getting kind of off now, but to throw that little tidbit in there.
And I would say not to, do any more, because we have to keep stopping and sharing.
Okay. And then the next one is ascribe to the Most High, you heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Most High glory and strength. And the heavenly beings here in that's Psalms 29:1. it's the same thing when you go to the Blue Letter Bible. We're not going to go there, but it is the sons of God, Abana and Zambi. That's what it's, when you go all the way to it, that's what it means. All right.
Okay. On another day, the angels came to present themselves before Nzambi, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And that's found in Job, the 2nd chapter, verse 1. And you see again, it has angels, and you got the footnote. So who are those angels? As my wife had explained earlier, sons of God, Bana and Nzambi.
So you can easily just insert on another day, Bana and Nzambi came to present themselves before the Most High. And Satan, the enemy, came with them to present himself before him. Just using that to show you how they change up things. So this here's the divine council of Nzambi. These sons of God, Abana and Nzambi, are a part of the divine council. So these actually are our elevated Nkulus of the light, actually, that we're talking about too. And then us also, but the council in heaven are the our elevated ancestors of the light.
Yes.
That's who the Abana and Nzambi are, the 24 elders. Are part of the divine council of Nzambi. They serve as his council, representatives, and host or army. And I want to read to you all Psalms 89, 5 through 7. It said, the heavens praise your wonders, Yahweh, your faithfulness too in the assembly of the holy ones. For who in the skies above can compare with Yahweh or Nzambi? Yahweh is just a corrupted version of Nzambi. You can hear they just changed up letters and added letters to it. But it's, and I can show somebody that who is interested in seeing that, it's just Nzambi, just corrupted. Who is like the Most High among the sons of God? In the council of the holy ones, God is greatly feared. He is more awesome than all who surround him. Who is like you, O Most High God of the heavenly host? You, Nzambi, are mighty, excuse me, and your faithfulness surrounds you. So we want to take a look at the assembly of the holy ones and look at these councils of the holy ones, or the assembly of the holy ones, the heavenly host, the sons of God, Bana and Nzambi a little bit. So who are the holy ones? So when you go to the Blue Letter Bible, you will see is they have it as saints. So who is a saint? When you go look at it, a saint is one of the elect, and that is from the online etymology dictionary. Their word for saint is one of elect. Sacred assembly, the holy ones is one that is holy or set apart. That's what a saint is.
And shall not Nzambi avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them. The 15th chapter, verse 7. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, or the four corners, from one end of the heavens to the other. Matthew 24 and 31. So elect in the Greek, 1588, and this is found in the what is it called? Commentary, but the Blue Letter. Right. And it is eklektos, and this is where elect come from. And it's also eklegome. I think I pronounced it right. Eklegome. So again, who are the elect? It is his chosen, his children, Bana and Nzambi.
So eklektos, when you go into the Blue Letter Bible, you know, they have a portion where you can look at the definition. And it's just simply one that is chosen by God. Eklegome is to pick out, choose, to pick or choose out of for oneself, of God, choosing whom he judged fit to receive his favors and separated from the rest of mankind. For what? To be peculiarly his own, not your own, his own.
Yeah.
And be attended continually by his gracious oversight. Also, the eklegome, the elect, is also is solele. And that is in 1 Peter. You can see that in 2 and 9. And I want to go there. I know I have to toggle back and forth, but let's go there for just a bit. So I'm going to share. I got to stop sharing. That's why I said I got to toggle back and forth and share so that you can see.
Mhm.
So 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people that you should show forth. In other words, you're different. You're not like the world. That you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Yes. You to stop sharing.
We have one more, you all.
And I want to say something too. I don't think that's it. Okay. We did that one.
Okay, this is where we are here.
Okay, yes. When you look at Eklagome and that second bullet point of Manzambi's choosing whom he judged fit to receive his favors and separated from the rest of mankind, that hit me right there. Because Tata Nzambi, we know, we keep saying that we are his children, and we know we are, and we have been chosen out of all nations on this earth. But looking at that, that is a powerful statement. Chosen whom he judged fit. Let that sink in. He chose you because you were judged to be fit. He saw you fit to receive his favor. He saw you fit to receive, to be called the children, his children. He saw that in you. That hit me. That struck me. Wow. Out of all nations on this earth, you saw us fit and even to be called gods. I just wanted to say that.
Like I said, bear with us. We are not off track with what we're doing here. If you think we're off track, just know that we'll get back on track, but we're not off track. So where did Peter get this from? Exodus 19:6. So let's go. Because this is going to prove that he was talking not to the church as they teach in Christianity, because Peter got this from the Old Testament, because they didn't have a New Testament during that time. We have to understand that it came years and years after these people were deceased. So
stop sharing. It's 19:6, so it's up here.
Let me get this here up so they can see this here. So this is where he got this from. This is what Peter was talking about. Exodus 19:6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak to who? Unto the children of Zola.
Yeah.
So Peter was talking about and referencing Zola when he said that they were a royal priesthood. He was not talking to the world. He was not talking to the church. He was talking to the elect, the set apart people. Manzambi.
Yes. Passe.
Okay. And Deuteronomy 7:6, we're going to go there real quick and look at that as well. Cooperate.
I think you just had to click it.
No, you have to do control click. Okay.
There you go. Deuteronomy. It'll be the first one right there.
Share the screen. Okay, so it says, let me move this here so I can see. I gotta move some stuff around.
Down here.
This is Deuteronomy 7:6 here. It says, for thou art an holy or set apart people or chosen elect people unto the Most High thy God. Manzambi, thy God, has chosen you to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So we're different. We're peculiar. We should not be acting like the world. We should not be doing things as the world. And what has happened with us, family, is because of what we have went through with the enslavement of our people, the colonization of our land, our people, our mind, they have created us to be something other than what we originally were in the past, what our ancestors were. So we now, as I stated earlier, we act like the world, we dress like the world, we talk like the world, we live like the world, we speak like the world. And we wonder why the world is out of order. We wonder why our marriages are in such disarray, and our children are acting so unruly. You have our brothers saying, kill the Black women. Why? Because we have lost the nature of who we truly are, and we have to return back because it is destruction. Anything other than the way of our ancestor is destruction to the melanated man, woman, and boy and girl. We need to understand that. If we live in any other way than what our ancestors live, our ancestors of the light live, it is causing destruction upon us.
Yeah, and upon the earth.
Yes, and that is why the earth is out of order now. And the Bible says that the earth is moaning and groaning for the manifestation of Bana and Zombie. What do they mean? For us to rise back up to our former state, our former glory, and to rule with the spirit of Ubuntu and justice. There is no justice in the world. We are the ones that have dominion over the earth.
Yes.
And we have to return back to that state, you all.
Yes.
Can y'all see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, because you shared.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. So respect in and of marriage. When you are the seed of the chosen, the elect, the set apart people, Manzambi, and you walk accordingly, you will honor each other. You will honor your husband, your wife. You will esteem your husband, your wife. You will cherish your husband, your wife. You will care for your husband, your wife. You will value each other, and you will respect each other. The key is knowing who you are. That is why they say, man, know thyself. We have forgotten who we are. So we need to remember.
Yes.
Go back. That's all remember mean. Go back. Return back to the ways of our forefathers. I know they have said some negative things about our culture and our ways, and that was designed purposely to cause us to curse ourselves and be in the state that we're in. As I stated, we're in the state that we're in because we are living a way that is beneath who we are. We are royalty.
Yes.
We are Manzambi. We have dominion. We are supposed to walk circumspectly and be a light to this dark world. But we have fallen from that state. Hence the reason why there is no love in the marriage. There's no honor in the marriage. You know, you don't esteem one another like you're supposed to. You don't cherish one another like you should. You don't care for each other because and for one, we don't see ourselves as who we are, because we've been told that we're less than for so many years, for centuries. We've been told that if you tell a child you're stupid and you dumb, and you're constantly telling that child that, then that's going to manifest. That child is going to become what you're telling it is. And that has happened to us. And so we have to reframe our mind and our thinking, as I stated, and go back. So you are a royal priesthood. You were chosen and selected by the Most High to be his peculiar people.
Mm-hmm.
So let us return back to the ways of our forefathers and to the ways how they esteem marriage. Marriage is just not just you. We're not an island. He told us to reproduce, right?
Yes.
So we are a family. He's one. He's about unity. So when you separate yourself, that tells you right there. That should tell us, number one, that is not of the Most High, Manzambi, because he's about unification of his people, oneness.
That's right. And I had said that, I would come back later and talk about, when you discuss with your wife. One of the things that I do is, before I go to Brenda to discuss something that I know could potentially anger her or upset her, I think about it. I go through it in my head first about how I'm going to present this thing to her. So I don't come to her in anger. I don't come to her disturbed, but I come to her calmly. And when I speak to her in a way that she can accept what I'm saying. And this is the one thing that we have to remember. When you're talking to your wife, now remember she said that through the woman, our Nkulus return. So she is a returned Nkulu by way of her mother. And so am I, as she just said, by way of my mother. So when I speak to her, I'm speaking to that returned Nkulu. And I don't want to anger that Nkulu. I don't want to damage that Nkulu. I don't want to disrespect that Nkulu. I don't want to hurt that Nkulu. So I have to be careful and mindful who I'm talking to. And this is how we have to look at each other. This is not just Brenda. I am not just Manzambi. We both are Nkulus.
Our ancestors.
Our ancestors.
And so are you. And so, to bring it home, to be realistic, we know sometimes, yes, I know sometimes we get upset and we may say things that we shouldn't have said or whatever. So I'm just going to keep this real. So if you do that, be humble enough to come and apologize. That's the key thing right there. There has to be humility in that relationship to come and to apologize, because sometimes things are said and you have to come and say, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean that or whatever. And that's key to remember. If you don't remember anything out of that, humility.
And I will share this last point, and that is, do your best not to go to bed angry, because we do not know what will transpire throughout the night. So if you are upset with your spouse, get it straight before you lay down to go to sleep. Matondo.
Engeta. Wow, beautiful.
Wow.
I'm enjoying this, as I said before. For those of you who have joined us late, my name is Wildad Podo. I'm from Haiti, and so welcome. So Queen Brenda and our King Manzambi have said it all. One thing I have to add is that what I don't understand, I don't know. I came here when I was a teenager. Came here to the state when I was 15. So one thing I've noticed, I have observed this. When people are dating, the love is there, the compassion is there, the trust is there, everything is there. But once they get married things change. It's like you're going to hell for some people. You understand? For some people say, my goodness, what have I done to myself? But yet it seems like they forgot when they were dating, the love they share. I mean, the joy, they have the heart pound, they feel like, ow, I'm having a chest disease or something. They grab their chest because just the fact that they see the love, of the life, and then they start having. But then again, once they get married, things change. It seems like, I don't know, please forgive me, God, forgive me, guys. It seems like once you come to the state, all hell break loose. Family is breaking. Children are destroying things. I mean, marriage is in chaos. Children have been disobedient. You saying, my goodness, the Bible saying that there will be time for children will disrespect their parents and things like that. Whose children are they talking about? The Christian children or the people who are not knowing God? But fighting to find out, it's everyone who live in the United States. I'm sorry to be blunt like that, but I'm so sorry. But the thing is, where did it go wrong? I don't understand where we go wrong. And then the respect is not there no more. We do not compromise anymore. So we ourselves, we have to make a decision to go back to when we were dating, to bring that into our marriage and then let it flow. It is not easy. It is not easy. I'm married with 2 kids. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy because there'll be time when your partner gonna rub you the wrong way. You're gonna say 1 or 2 things. You're gonna say, hey, you're gonna see horns coming out of your forehead, like where's this devil coming from? But it's because they have come to you the wrong way. Like my king says, he set his mind to go to his queen in a gentle and a calm way so that she won't be upset. Some of us, when we go to our spouse, we come in authority like with the boss. We're gonna rule you. What I say, you do. I'm gonna step on you. I'm the man of the house. Or some women have become the men of the house instead of the woman of the house. So you don't know who's the man, who's the woman anymore. So anyway, I just want to say, guys, just be patient with yourself and then always pray. Ask the Most High, please, I need help. Because like Isaiah said, I can do nothing apart from the Most High. You cannot do nothing if you don't ask God to help you. It's not possible because we are human. We have things in us that going on trigger us the wrong way, and then we're gonna say things, we're gonna do things, and later we're gonna regret. It's too late. It's too late. It's hard work to get married. It's hard work. You have to be ready to be married. Don't just say, oh, I love you, and then you want to get married. Oh, she's beautiful, he's handsome, and then before you know it, you're not ready. When you get in there, within 2 months, you're ready to be to get divorced. It's not like that. So please, guys, take your time. Don't think, oh, I'm getting old, I need to get married. No. I need to have a kid. No, because once you have a child in the marriage, believe me, there's another challenge coming as well. So please take that in mind. And then we have lost our culture. We don't do things the way our foreparents used to do things anymore. We're following the world. We're following everything. Me, I said, you know what? I was born by myself. I'm not following nobody. Of course, I have the ears to hear, to listen to the good teacher, because we all learning. It doesn't matter how long you've been walking the walk in spirituality or whatever. We all learning everything. You can always learn from everybody. So please, guys, take your time in marriage. Take your time with your children. Take your time with your spouse, and be obedient, and then love, and that love, purity and justice. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Queen Brenda, beautiful lady, my king, beautiful. Thank you so
for
much.
having
You
us.
guys are blessed.
Thank you.
Yes.
I would like to
Thank
quickly say too, when you was something you said triggered this. I do know that in our culture, when a young lady, a young man was of age, they went through an initiation, and that initiation was to prepare them for marriage. And so that we have lost. I know in Christianity, in some of the churches, you will have pastors that will walk you through, and they call it what do they call that? Counseling. But in our cultures, it's deeper than that. So that's why I said we've lost so much. That's why we see the destruction. That's part of it. And then also to what happened to us during slavery, how they would separate over here. I don't know if you all are aware in Haiti and over on the continent, they would separate the mothers from the fathers. They would sell the father off, the mother off, the children off. And that happened to my family. In the research in my ancestry, I saw one, I think was my fourth grandmother removed. She was sold away from her family. So they caused the destruction of our family. Things were done intentionally to cause destruction within the family structure, because they know how important the structure is, because that family comprises a component of the community. When I was growing up, we did have a community, and we did have some similarities like our people on the continent, where the neighbor, because I grew up in an all Black community, where we had the store owners were Black, my school teachers were Black, and I hate that our children don't have that, because it's different, you all. It's totally different. When you see someone that owns a store, you go, that look like you, the teacher that looks like you, because they're going to have your best interests at heart. And they're going to know how to deal with our young men and women better. So it's a lot of things that has come into play that have caused the demise of us as a people within the marriage, our marriages, and so forth and so on.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, any of you have questions, any ideas, any input, feel free to ask.
Wow, thank you so much, Queen and King, for the beautiful presentation. I loved it so much. I'm old school, so I like to write sometimes, Yeah, it's very difficult, so I'm excited. I was so happy. I wanted to ask my queens, my king as well. What are your thoughts on interracial marriages? I remember when I was in India, there's a friend of mine who fell in love with an Indian woman, but the parents were so opposed to the union, and I felt maybe they were racist. But then when I came to understand more about marriage, with the culture clash and different peoples have their own vision of uniting couples, do you think that as Black people, being an endangered species, which I believe that we are, should we prioritize marrying within our race for now? Or do you think we have to leave that up to the Most High to lead us on whoever we fall in love with? What are your thoughts on marrying out of our race?
Good question.
It is. Excellent question.
I'll go first. Make the answer short. No, we should not be marrying outside. He told us not to marry outside. 2, when you do that, you're destroying your own people. He told us to multiply, right? So if I go outside and I marry somebody outside, I'm not creating within that melanated community, because they have lost that part of that. But he told us not to mix, and he said it for a reason. That I'm not going to get into it on here, because I know it's going to be on YouTube, but the Most High told us not to mix, and he said it for a reason. And as you stated, there's different cultures and beliefs and mores and things that are so different and opposed to us being the people of the Most High. And there's a lot of spiritual things tied into it when you begin to marry outside us. Talking about solely, when we start marrying us outside, there are some spiritual ramifications behind it that I have come to learn that we did not know. That if we understood the spiritual ramifications, and we would know why Manzambi said not to do that. So once we get off camera, I can go a little deeper into that. But no, we should not. And it has nothing to do with being racist or anything like that. But each kind should marry its own kind. And it's not only that, it's going to cause confusion in the children. When you have children that are mixed, they don't know which side to go with. You see a lot of them, they're confused. They don't know to go with. Most of the people that are mixed are, people of African descent and Caucasian. They don't know to go with the white side of black, they said that they are thrown out from the white people. They don't want to own them. The black people don't want to own them because they too light, they too dark. So there's a lot of confusion there. And the Most High is not the author of confusion. So he made each specific race, ethnicity for a reason. So you should marry within your kind. And you stated love. So since you stated marry who I love, in our culture, correct me if I'm wrong, RV, our people didn't marry for love. Initially, I'm talking about back when it wasn't initially for love. Now when they got together, yes, that love grew, but initially it was not for love. And I know that's hard for us to grasp over here in the West because of what we have been taught. And I'm talking about way back in, in our people, it was a different reason. The love came afterwards, the respect and all that came, and it worked. It worked.
And I'm gonna come from the flip side. When a parent or parents give instructions to their children and their children disobey that instruction, that child ends up being punished for disobeying. So Tata Nzambi has given us instructions, and we are to follow his instructions, because if we don't, we will end up paying for it. Okay. So with that said, my answer.
But the key is there's some spiritual ramifications behind that.
It is.
We are conduit for our ancestors to come back. So when we begin mixing like that, your ancestors not gonna come back.
Exactly.
So you're causing the destruction of your own people, as I stated. I don't really want to get into it like that any deeper with being on YouTube, but you're causing the demise of your people not to continue on. And you have to understand that this was a tactic used by the colonizers to what they consider white us out. They tried to do it in America and it didn't work. So they took this initiative. Actually, it was Hitler that got it from America, talking about the Aryan race, the white, face, blue eyes, so forth and so on. So it was a tactic used for the destruction of the melanated man, woman, boy, and girl. So you all need to bear that in mind as well.
Hi, family. This is Silverback. I just want to add something to what, actually to the presentation. Mama Brenda went into full detail explaining that we are a chosen people and that our Father selected us as his people to teach the rest of the world. So if we are a selected people, if we are chosen and we are holy before the Father, why would we want to mix anything with any other people?
Yes.
Right? If you value yourself to be a holy child of the Most High, why would you want to go and mix deceivers, liars, filth? Why would you want to do that? It makes no sense. And I just want to add also, I want to ask Mama Brenda and Nkosi Manzambi, Zola, how do we go about implementing a system that would hold our people accountable and also punish those who are disobedient? Because we are divided for a reason. When we look in the scriptures, Baba Mungu punished those who didn't comply with his commandments. What do you guys say about that?
That's a good question. You want to tackle that first, or you want me to go first?
You can go first again. I gotta let that one, Well,
I'll say this. Our people had councils. We had elders, right? So when there was an issue in the conduct of the community, they went to the elders, and the elders were the wise men, the married wise men. And one particular example in the Bible that comes to mind is Solomon. And the two women, the woman that lost her child, and she stole the latest child, and she's the latest, and that's her child. And they went to the king, because they went to our kings as well. And the king said, well, I'll just split the child in half. And then the mother cried out, and that's how he knew that was correct. And so we had a council of wise men that we called the elders, that they went to make sure that there was order, and that the laws that were passed down from generation to generation were adhered to. That has been destroyed. So we have to first rebuild that. We need a council of elders, wise men that are holy men, that are just, that are righteous, married men, as they were married men. Because I understand in our culture, if you weren't married, you want a man, you were still a child.
Yeah, they still considered you a boy.
Until you got married, and so having your children. So they had to be married. So we need a council of elders, as we had in the past, so that we can have that wise wisdom. And then our kings had covenant with the Most High. And they would even go to the kings, as you can see an example that I gave you with Solomon. And our kings and our elders as well had direct communication with the Most High. And they can tell who was wrong and who was not wrong, who's lying, who's not lying. And in our culture, a lot of people, when they came before the throne of the Most High, when they were being questioned about something, our people didn't lie back then, because they knew that they would be struck down dead, because there's been a destruction of that. We just do whatever. So we have to restore that. We have to restore the council of elders. That's what we need. And it's a challenge with us being scattered all over, but it's possible until we're able to get back home. What we will have to do is find people that are in the particular area you're in Ohio or whatever, to have a council there, and we're so heavy now, we can still even have it worldwide, because we have Zoom and go to there. Like, we could have one over in Africa, somebody from Africa on the board of elders, but we need to restore that, is what I'm saying. That's the short answer. That needs to be restored, that which we have lost, that kept order in our community.
And, I'm one that, depending on the question, I don't, just give an answer immediately. I have to let that question kind of marinate a little bit, because when I speak, I want to make sure that my answer is received. Okay. And you understand what I'm saying, and it does answer your question. But as Brenda has spoken, we do need a council. We need to put together a council. That council of these individuals, they must be in connection to Tata Nzambi. They have to have that spiritual connection with him. And they must have the spirit of discernment. Now, I don't know if you all really been paying attention, but I have been speaking about having a spirit of discernment, so that when anyone come up to you and begin to speak to you, be it face to face or on Zoom, and they begin to speak, you're able to pick up on their spirit. Okay. And you'll be able to understand where they're coming from, if they're right, if they're wrong, if they're trying to come in behind the back door, you will be able to pick that up. And I am the type of individual that when someone comes to me, as sweet and nice as I can, I'm going to be to the point. Okay. I don't play. Right. I'm just going to be to the point. I'm going to be straightforward. I don't want to damage you. So when I speak, I'm speaking to strengthen you, to build you. That's what I'm doing. If you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. But we need to have that counsel and that connection with Tata Nzambi.
And, we're the only people, when you think about it, people of African descent that don't have their community. You have Chinatown, you have the Arabs all together, you have the Mexicans, they're all together. We're the only one that is separated like this. And as the brother stated, it's for a reason that we're like this. So when we were on our land and had our own land, we had our laws that we adhered to. And he was talking about holding people accountable. They were held accountable. Like if you killed somebody, you know, they didn't want that curse to come upon the land and the community. So they would banish those people from the land. So we had laws and things that we adhered to. So when they came over to our continent, they didn't see all these prisons and things like that because they knew that there were consequences, that you would die if you went to before the Most High and you lied, or you would be banished from your people if you killed and things of that nature. So restoration has to take place to restore that which we have lost. Return back. The scripture said, "Return back to the ways of your forefathers." So
and quickly, and I'll hush. I was speaking with Nt Nagong, and in conversation, we were talking about China. We were talking about Russia and how their people live their life a certain way. Now, to us, it's a strict rule. It's being ruled with the iron fist. And she said, but they have an understanding of their culture, and they live according to that. But when you look at the United States, what is it in the United States? Do as you will. Yep. We don't have a strict rule.
So did that help with that? I hope that answered some of your questions.
Magakolo.
Silverback, what answer said this was the answer section?
Yes, Mama. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matondo. Yes, Magakolori. Did I pronounce it right? Mogokolori?
Yes, you did. Greetings. Greetings, Zola, greetings to the mama, Brenda, greetings to Father, greetings to all souls and creations. Thank you for this wonderful presentation that you presented for us. I'm probably one of the youngest members in here, being at 29. But I've been increased with a tremendous amount of wisdom and the abilities to, hear things incorporated within my own stuff and also the people around me. The question that comes to mind is, how do you go about a relationship that is about woman years, and we're talking about marriage, and but the knowledge between one another is a gap. I lie, and she's a bit intimidated with that. And I like to look at history. I like to know truth. I like to know about a lot of things, especially with culture. And she feels like, man, how do I keep up? How do I do this? How do I do that? And sometimes I feel like I do both the masculine and feminine activity within this relationship, where she's supposed to be able to pour into me as I pour into her. But it seems like I'm giving her both everything. And I'm telling her that she has the same free will that I have to go search out all this information. I send her links, books, and all these types of things. And I don't know why, but she seems very hesitant about it. But the information I come bring to her, she then shares me a link that's being spoken about it on TikTok with the person saying the same thing. So now I'm finding that the way how she consumes information is vastly different than the way how I consume information. I'm very old traditional. I like to go into the book, get my head dirty, and then I got RV in my ears. So now I can go ahead and tap into RV and confirm things. Oftentimes I would know the way I go about it is I'll answer it for myself and then go find answers somewhere else to see if it correlates. And oftentimes it would be the same, or oftentimes it'd be close to it. So this is how I calculate my discernment of spirit, or my ability to be in tune with things before it's even presented to me physically. So I try to teach this with the women that I'm with, and I come from the same system that she comes from. I have a Haitian background, but she has a Trinidad background, but we were both raised in a westernized system. So therefore you see marriage, you see love, you see all this stuff that is not true. It is very fairy tale. And her mindset of the fairy tale kind of gave her a wrong interpretation of what a relationship really is. And I've been trying to tell her that is not the case. you mentioned we didn't marry for love. This is what I try to convince to her. Like, it wasn't about love whatsoever. It's a community. It's about building. And then later on, this love fantasy things comes into play, which therefore throws a wrench within our relationship and causes a more confusion of things. So this is a woman I would love to marry. This is a woman I want to marry because within her femininity, she knows how to be a woman. She's very nice, kind, smart, considerate, all of the good traits that you would want in a wife. But the separating factor becomes the knowledge of how to go about it. Because what we've been exposed to within the westernized environment. And it's like, well, if this is a part of our culture, she won't be able to answer that because she hasn't done the research that I have done. So therefore, our information would clash at times on how to go about things. But at the same time, her awareness and spirituality has been rising due to me introducing a lot of things, and literally it'll be within her because we are reincarnation. So oftentimes it's a matter of remembering, but that's my question. I had to do like a little slight introduction of what it is, but how do we go about that? I guess you can say is my actual final question amongst other things that I mentioned. Thank you.
All right. Oh, that too is a beautiful question. And I'll go first this time.
By all means.
The first thing that came to me as you were speaking was patience. Exercise patience with her. And then I thought about Brenda and I know she won't mind me sharing this, but
I may.
Brenda, as you all well know, she is a studier. Okay. Brenda will be up 1-2 o'clock in the morning studying, and throughout the day he's putting and there's a house. I relax. I take it easy. I watch nature shows, So what I'm saying is she does more studying than I. So when it comes down to it, she'll come to me, she'll share things with me, and I listen to what she has to say. I receive it, I respond. But she doesn't consistently come and, give me this, give me that, because it can wear you down if that was. So this is why I say, be patient. You have shared some things with her, and she's not where you are, and that's okay. Now, let us remember, and again, I keep saying the Bible has been manipulated. And it say we ought to be to, other words, I think it's quoted something like, be that example, you will her and she will sanctify you, the husband, so what you are learning and what you are receiving as she see you grow, you are being a light to her, that it will help her to grow. You already said that, there are things that is changing within her. So continue to be a beacon of light to her. Be patient. She'll come around. She will. Because she see you. You're the example. She hear what you're saying. Don't dump it on her. If she comes to you and she asks you a question, answer the question. Don't dump on her, but give her enough to receive and accept, and you're answering that question. And let her do her own research. I do my research, but let her do her own research as well. you know. And there's an old saying, when Brenda says this about me a lot, Brenda would say, he don't never listen to me, you know, but somebody else come and tell him something. He listened to what they say, you know, and I think that's just something that's within that, you know, in us as a people. You know, we can receive something, seems like we receive something from the outside, you know, that's right in line with what you said. And they'll go, okay, now why that is, I don't know, but probably because it came from a second source, which what's the word I'm looking for?
Validation.
Yes, validation. Thank you. It validated what you said. So yeah, the main thing is be patient. You good?
Absolutely, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been told the same thing too about Harvey as well too. And the dumping thing was a hard thing to do at the first in the beginning because I was the only one seeing this information within my circle. So I had to talk to somebody about it. And she's around me all the time, you know. So I had to learn that. I did learn that as well too. And I do allow her to come to me, but she has been coming to me with a whole bunch of questions. And I seem to know everything, but I don't. You know, I try to let her know I don't, man. You know, but yes, I appreciate the wise words indeed. It's something I will incorporate within my life. I thank you again, Matanda.
Yes, sir. And also it's good that you said to her that you don't know everything, because it still shows her that you're vulnerable. Okay. And that's good. It's good that she see that, you know, so you're not usurping leadership, rulership over her, but you're letting her know, I'll share with you what I know. I don't know everything, but what I do know, I will give to you. So that
exactly.
Yes,
I
that
agree.
is a great positive there. Keep doing that, my brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate it again. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
Yes, ma'am. Will Dad. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my king. I have to agree with what you just said to our young man. I remember when I was in Christianity, my husband, I was always dumping things to him, you know, telling him things. And he was in Christianity as well. You know, he's from Ghana. And he said, you need to open your mind to receive other things. And then he was talking about spirituality. And then I wasn't getting it yet. I was thinking, oh, the devil is a liar, you know, fire. I was like, fire and things like that. So it is so true. You have to, when you dump things, take your time. And then, and I've done my own research. And then now that the Most High has opened my eyes to spirituality, I am new. I am a baby in spirituality. So I'm learning. So I thank God for that. It is true. Take your time and then learn, and then let them come to you, because my husband, he always, when I'm dumping to him, he's always calm. He said, honey, just open your mind to other things, you know. So thank you very much. That's that. And I have a question. My queen, you have said that, and I agree with everything you guys said, that Brother Avi was saying, what do you guys think of interracial relationship? And then I agree with the answer you have said. One thing I want to say or ask is that, so you know the percentage of people with interrelationship, it has increased a lot, black and white, and the list goes on. So what do they do? Because when you look at it based on religion, Buddha, Hindu, or whatever, Chinese, whatever, at the end of the day, they all looking for one thing, one God. Okay, one God and one love. So let's say, okay, so to speak, love gonna draw one Chinese to a black man or black woman or whatever, and then it is a problem. Yes, I've seen it, I've heard it, but what would they do once they just said, this is my culture, this is what the Most High said, this is what nature is teaching us, and so on and so forth. So for people who in a relationship right now with a Chinese or with a Muzungu, Mundele, whatever you call them, so how do they deal with this? Because I've heard some people on YouTube saying that people who marry Muzungu, I'm talking about the white men, or the nation, they're all going to hell. They're all gonna die. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame the way I've heard it. I was like, are you kidding me? I don't think it's like that. So
No.
how do you advise people who are already in the relationship with, with other race, you understand? Because at the end of the day, all serving one God. Yes, they call him Buddha or whatever, but it's only one source. We all have, like, what we're preaching, what we're teaching, we have to reach out to the other ones to come in, because the scripture says it is not my desire for any of one or any of them to perish, but to come to repentance. So we are pushing to everybody. So how do we bring them so that we can be that oneness that the Most High is looking for? Yes, we are separate people, just like the scripture says, but how do we let them know that they're not gonna die and go to hell? You understand? So that's my question. Thank you.
Well, first off, we don't need to be saying and telling anybody that they're going to go to hell for doing that, because that's not so. There are some ramifications behind it. We have to look at the fact too that, like we said, there's cultures involved. Somebody's going to pull somebody. So say, for instance, we have a daughter, and the daughter is dating this guy that is Russian. Culture's totally different, even from here in America, not to even bring in the African culture. Somebody's going to pull somebody. So somebody's going to be changing, not who they were or are, right? So either she's going to pull him, he's no longer going to follow his culture, he's going to take on the culture and the ways, mores of, African culture. And that may cause some issues with his family. Or either she's going to take on the ways and culture, mores of him, and that could potentially cause some. You see, it's because we are a community, as I stated before, you're not marrying that individual, you're marrying the community. There's two worlds that's coming together, community that's coming together, because when you look at Bana, the word Bana means to build up, which is where you get children from. Because when you get married, you building a family. From the family, you build a kingdom, a nation of people. So we are to show love. We have shown love to the world, because out of all the things that we have experienced, we have not retaliated on them the way that they have on us. So remember, we brought out in that scripture how he said, "For I chose you because of," and I'm paraphrasing, for you for a specific reason of who you are, something like that, because of our nature, who we are. Our nature is like our creator. We are the ones that's created in his image, and we have to understand that. When you understand that you, the melanated man, are the one that's created in his image and in his likeness, that goes a little deeper than what we know. And I did a teaching on that. I just refrain from going there on here on his platform and his teaching because of what we're doing. But just so you can, that's why I say it's important to know who you are. Right, and go look at that teaching I did on what's the name of it, but it has to do with dark matter, dark energy that they found out in the atmosphere. They can't see it, but they know it's there. It's expanding the universe, it's holding up the stars, and the scripture talks about in Manzambi how he does that, and so forth and so on. That darkness, that dark matter, which we are. Right. Because our spirituality is science-based. We're dark matter. We came from the earth, which is matter, and it's dark. We're created in his image. Why do you think everybody else is trying to look like you?
Yeah, that's right.
Thick lips, dark skin. You are the God. So like my brother said, why would you want to go outside somebody else that's not a God? You are diluting who you are. You are taking away that royalness from yourself.
Mm.
Because I showed you in scripture how he said he chose and selected a Zola for himself to be a peculiar people. So if somebody is drawing you over to their culture, you no longer can be that peculiar people because you're not following the ways of your forefathers that was given to them by the creator. So it's deeper than what we think. We can say love all day, but it's even deeper than that. And say, oh, I love her, because somebody just stated in here, you stop. That was you. They stopped loving. People can stop loving. They can fall out of love. See? It's deeper than that, and we need to look beyond that to see what was the purpose of us coming together to procreate. Why do they call it procreation? Because we are creating with the creator, so we are procreators with him. He created man, and then the woman and the man come together and they create the child, bring the child from the realm of where they are to this realm. So it's very deep. That's why I said I really didn't want to get into it. That's another whole nother teaching.
I will share this, because your question was really
a good question.
It was, and it's kind of touchy because you're asking about what about these individuals who are currently in these relationships. So I'm going to come this way, and it's kind of what Brenda was saying. Remember, I said that in Brenda is a returned Nkulu, a returned ancestor. In me is a returned ancestor. When you marry outside of the word of Manzambi, when you marry into another culture, you're messing with your ancestors, your lineage. Okay. So, and we can talk about this afterwards, but you're messing with your lineage. You're preventing someone from coming through. You're, as Mama Brenda just said, you're diluting, your lineage. So we have to truly be mindful of that. Now, for those who are already in this relationship, just like I cannot tell them you're going to hell, I cannot tell them to leave and get out of that marriage, because that is something that they did.
And they have to make that decision.
Now, if they are following and awakening to who they are, and they're hearing this message and they're seeking Tata Nzambi, he is the one that's going to have to guide them. Right. He is the one that's going to have to speak to them to say, get out of this marriage or stay in, whatever. He's going to have to speak to them. Okay, because it's just like, and I've learned this some years ago, as a pastor, if I said that two people were compatible to marry each other, everything looks good and it's going to work out, and they go and get married. I didn't do the marriage, but they go and get married, and then later they get a divorce. One of them can come back to me and say, you said. Okay. So it's going to have to be upon those individuals in that relationship. But the one thing we definitely have to remember is Tata Nzambi chose a group of people. And he said, do not marry outside of this group. We have to remember that.
You know what? I'm going to bring this home in personal. My brother married outside. He married a Native American. So his children are half, of African descent and half Native American. So usually the child is going to go with the mother. So if the mother is Native American, she's going to go with that culture. Or if the child's mother is Native American, they're going to follow that mother. That's just how it is. So with the mother being Native American, she went with her culture. She went through the rituals that they go through, the whatever. She was, and she got together with a guy that's Native American. Now she's half Native American and half of African descent. And she got with somebody that is full-blown Native American. If I showed you the pictures of my niece and of her children, which are my great niece and nephew, you wouldn't even know they're mine. They're related to me at all whatsoever. No African whatsoever. If I show somebody this my niece and nephew, they'll look at me like, that's not your niece and nephew, because they look Native American. You don't see any of African descent in them whatsoever. So you have lost a generation. So that's a generation of ours that's lost of my brother, his generation of being of African descent. He has no children of African descent. You know, he have half and half, and then his grandchildren. So his generation is lost as far as the African descent, because his grandchildren are Native American. Unless they go back and start marrying into that African and go back on to purified again through that, if I'm making sense, through that lineage of being African. But I doubt that will happen. So you see how we begin to lose ourselves when we go outside of ourselves. You lose yourself. So we need to take a close and hard look at that. I'm gonna tell you now, my grandmother was 101 when she died. And I'm learning as I learn, because we're all learning, because we all lost our way in culture, and I'm learning. But as I learn about our Bantu culture, I'm learning that my grandmother did a lot of stuff that was Bantu. I just didn't know it. And she told one of my sons, the oldest, as a matter of fact, to promise her, I'm sorry, that he will never marry anybody white. And I understand that this does take place in the African culture.
My mother told me.
Now, I wasn't awakened during that time. I was in Christianity, so I'm speaking as a Christian. And when he told me, he said, he called her Neat Neat. Neat Neat told me to promise her that I won't marry nobody that's white. I said, you can marry whoever you want, just as long as you love them and they love you. It's nothing wrong with that. Now, fast forward to our last child that had a proclivity to like outside of our race. He was talking to someone that was an Arab one time, Mexican, Caucasian, and so these children today, you have to be wise. So I went to him and I said, I can't tell you who to like, who to marry when you get ready to marry. That's going to be on you. But I do want to let you know that it's very hurting to me to see you date someone that does not look like your mother. That's hurting to me. That's how I came to him. That changed. I didn't tell him I didn't want you to. I just said that's hurting to me, that you feel like that you can't date someone that looks like me, your mother. That hurts me. I said, it makes me feel bad. And that's all I said to him. And I told him about the Arab girl. I said, you have to understand that these people don't like us. You go into that, understand that. And I, had the conversation that we have to have with our children that we shouldn't have to have about interracial relationships. I'm from the South, you all. And I grew up with this guy, his brother, me and his brother was like brother and sister. We were close. And he dated a Caucasian lady, young lady, young. We were young. I think I was in college at the time, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe just got out of college or whatever. But anyway, I grew up in Mississippi. Mississippi is very racist. It's the most racist state in the United States. And even when I was living there, it was Philadelphia, Mississippi was I got to say this so they can understand this, because everybody don't know about the history of Mississippi. Philadelphia, Mississippi, if anybody saw the movie Mississippi Burning, that was about Philadelphia, the KKK, and how they killed those 3 men that a lot of people don't know about. I'm not going to get into that. Philadelphia, in other words, was one of those sundowners town. Don't get caught in that town if you're melanated, if you're black. That young lady was from there. We know it was full of KKK. The story was her father, who was in the KKK, told her, you leave that alone. She didn't. She ended up dead a few blocks from my mother's house. I live in a very small area, town. So word spread. The word was she was killed by her father because she was dating the black guy. Well, guess what? It got pinned on that black guy, my brother's friend, that he committed the murder. And we know he didn't commit it. So he got off, and he moved out of the state and he married a sister. It's more to it than what meets the eye.
Wow. Thank you all. We coming to an end. We thank you so much. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you so much, guys, for coming and sharing your views on respect in marriage. Thank you for everything. Words cannot express. The Most High will reward you guys. And then those who are in the class listening, please take note, pray, or communicate with the Most High, and then so that He can lead you. Thank you so much, all. Brother Avi, are you there?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I was just thinking about what the Queen was saying. It really hurts so much to hear that story. But thank you so much.
Yes.
It really hurts so much because, my elder brother is married to a Malaysian of Indian origin. And, it's been a long time we haven't seen our brother, because the culture that he's married to, they are so attached to the family, so they wouldn't allow their daughter to go into Africa with. So it's very difficult. We haven't seen our brother for a long time, and now they have a daughter together. And I was speaking to the wife the other day. She was telling me that when they went for the birth certificate in Malaysia, it's okay not to put the family name on the child. They named her Hannah Gesha, so she's supposed to be just Hannah Gesha. Like the family name of Ngalangala is not supposed to be in the name, and that really broke my heart because that's the culture. So you can imagine what the Queen is saying, that you can lose a generation. You can imagine the family name of my brother stripped from the child's name. It's very catastrophic. Man. So we have to really prioritize our people. So I thought the Indians who did not like us marrying their daughters in India were racist, but now I understand how they value, their culture and what they believe. So we have to do the same, So I agreed with the Silverback as well. We have to prioritize our race. It always takes me back to the story of our own good example, Abraham. He was in the land of foreigners, but he sent his servant to find a wife for his son back at his home.
Yes.
Are we saying that there were no beautiful women for his son where he lived? No. But he knew that if his son married the women who were around, who were foreigners, he would lose. The Queen has given a good example that once the woman is from a different culture, the children will immediately take on because they will learn the mother, because the mother is the one that raises the children. So Abraham knew if my son marries a foreign woman here, that's it. And we are the chosen people. We would have lost our generation via, Abraham's son. So it's really important. And thank you so much for joining us to teach on this, on marriage. We're honored. We'll be having the Queen and the King at least every quarter, inviting them over. I think in next month, we'll be having Brother Elder Jabulani, who will be joining us as well. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for making thank you so much for making the time. And thank you all for those who attended. Like I said, we got this track on YouTube, so we'll be sharing the live next week. That's how it is in this. But we're so happy. We're so honored. Thank you so much, Queen Wildred, for hosting, the couple. And I'll give them time maybe to, say they usually meet, they have their Sabbath every Saturday, 11:30 EST. And I would love for all of you to join the Sabbath next week with our elder and Queen Brenda. So you can maybe say a few words before we end our session for today, Queen and King.
I just want to say, I want you all to know that people of African descent marry outside of their race more than anybody else. I want you all to know that.
Yes, true.
Yeah, it has really been a great honor, to be here with you, my brother Nabi, and everyone. I appreciate you all,
Yes.
and again, we were to come a few weeks back and were unable, but we thank Tata Nzambi that we were able to make it today, and this has really been
great discussion.
Yes,
great questions.
yes, been loving it. And we thank you so much, and we're looking forward to being together again, and you as well, Nabi, to come and be on our platform also.
Yes.
So matondo masaka.
Yes, thank you. We need some of these questions were hard questions, but we need to ask these hard questions because we have to work through getting back to who we were as a people.
Exactly.
I have one request, please. I don't know if you guys heard news of Haiti. Haiti is just going down and down and down. So please keep the Haitians in your thoughts. Please communicate to the Most High on their behalf. Of course, the Haitians, we are not lack of prayers because we do pray, but it's a matter of them deciding for themselves to change their ways. Because the ways, they are killing each other. It is very heartbreaking. I cannot go to Haiti. I just can't. I wouldn't dare try to go there. So please keep the Haitians in your thoughts. Thank you.
Yes, we will do. We will do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, next Sunday, we'll catch you up. We'll just maybe leave with a song playing. You can feel free to leave at any time, and we'll definitely see you in our next class. Thank you so much.
We are Zola Bantu. We live in love, we live in purity, we live in justice. We are priests, we are scientists, we are judges. The three pillars of spirituality. We bring together the best of us, we build together, we don't destroy.
Support us by liking the video, vibrate in love by sharing the video to one person that you love, become our member here on YouTube by clicking join, follow us on Instagram, we have basically many courses over there, follow us also on Facebook, we have many posts over there, become our Patreon to show us love by supporting us. We have amazing courses available on our Patreon account. Visit our website to know more about Zola Bantu. Click on our playlist here on YouTube to be able to watch our courses for free and see our classes. Join the Zola Bantu class every Sunday, available here on YouTube, to decolonize your mind. Donate to us via PayPal. If you cannot donate funds, donate to us your time by blessing us with your skills and expertise on our projects. Bless us with at least 1 hour a week of your time. Our key projects are education, food, media, army, and the restoration of the African woman. We love you so much, Zola Bantu. Kisses. Mwah.